You asked, and we delivered. Introducing the Dave Moss Tuning Subscription Channel on YouTube. All of Dave's premium content for one low price. Put one of the best suspension tuners on the planet to work for you. Find the link in the description box below and get started today.
All right, late evening. Guess what? Fork suspension work, in this case oil seals. How many of you have a bike with forks like this? Not necessarily adjustable, but a telescopic fork. Every time you wash the bike, every time you're out in the rain, water collects in here. I know you're going, what? It can't, that's impossible. Well, guess what it does? To prove it, let's have a look. So we've got to change the oil seals on Charles's bike, and if we pop this off, this is the one that had a blown seal, so you can see lots of oil in there. While I rotate this, Dave will keep the camera there. Okay, and it's all rusty and nasty and horrible, but the oil's kept the rust to a minimum. So now if we just put this one down, here's the one off the other leg. And you can see, because this seal wasn't blown, how rusty and filthy and disgusting that is. And it took me a long time to get that out. Not only that, the groove that the clip ring sits in had to be completely cleaned out with a screwdriver and a pick to be able to get this clip to seat back in it. So if you have telescopic forks, every time you wash the bike or you're out in the rain, pull the dust seal up and get in there with a rag and dry it all out. Don't get in there with a high pressure airline to blow it out, because when you blow it out, where are you blowing it? Back into the fork. Not cool. Clean it. Lift it up every once in a while. If you're out in a rainstorm, that night, clean it. Don't let that rust and damage cause carnage with your fork seal. Old, disgusting, broken, busted. Horrible, foul nightmare. New, ready for installation, clean and pristine. So now we've got to figure out, how does this work? Well, let's do a real quick 101 on this. This is your outer lip, which faces upwards, and that's your first scraper. The dust seal is the scraper as well, but this is harsh and severe. There's no spring here, so this is just rubber tension on the lip that goes and keeps a grip on the fork itself. The outside of the seal is rock hard, so it keeps it in place, and this has some give in it. Now, how does it hold the oil in? Well, in the back is a spring. That spring grips this soft surface to the tube, and that spring makes sure that the rubber grips tightly. Over time, that spring wears and it becomes tired. So we have a male end and a female end, and they screw into each other. So if you're at a pinch and you can't find a seal and you're stuck, you can take 1/8 of an inch off of this and screw it back together. So let's screw this back together. Come on. There we go. So now it looks almost seamless. You have to know where to look. And that is how your fork oil seal works. It grips the tube to keep the tension on it, to keep the oil in it. Get in. There we go. And then right in there, that little V, that's your grease groove to stop stiction. Now in telescopic forks, you get bushings. You also have a washer that the seal sits on, and to get them apart, these two smash against each other. They're called bash apart forks. And then when this is seated, the copper wears right off of it. So if we can clean all the dirt off, You can see the various stages of copper, water damage with the rusty stuff. And then the black stuff on the outside is Teflon. So, oops, all the Teflon's gone. So as this has been working up and down, the fork's been working like this. Instead of going straight, it's gone in at angles. And so with it being on the angles, it's gone ahead and mark that and taken all the Teflon away. Oh, oops. It also marked it there too. See how that mark corresponds here? So that mark and that mark line up perfectly. So as the fork's been flexing on the bushing, it's also marked the chrome tube, which we'll have to polish out with 400 grit. So when you're replacing an oil seal, always check that your bushings are intact, and if they're not, get some new ones. And what do new ones look like? Lots of clean copper all the way around it. And then inside is the Teflon coat. And all that's nice and black, nice and smooth all the way around. Externally, all nice and black. And then internally, it's protected with a bushing. So these will replace new and lovely, worn out and busted. So we're going to trade these out.
To schedule a remote tuning appointment for you and your bike with Dave via text, email, Facebook, etc., contact Dave on Facebook or by email, dave@davemosstuning.com.